What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling Crossroads. As always, I'm one half your dynamic duo Twisted, here alone doing this solo. Unfortunately, Brother Pyro is unable to be with me today, and a little bit more of a last minute thing. So unfortunately, I do not have anyone alongside me today. We are going to be talking NXT's Halloween Havoc. So let's just jump right into it. We have the NXT Women's North American title on the line. Zaria taking on Blake Monroe. Now, if you haven't been watching lately, unfortunately, I believe it was last week Friday in a match, tag team match with Zaria and Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca did end up injured. She came out on NXT this past week, made an announcement saying that she would have to relinquish the championship. Blake Monroe came out and essentially said that she should be champion because she's had her eye on the prize. Zaria said, nope, I'm going to defend this title for you in your place, thus bringing us to this match. Ava did agree to that. Diving right into our predictions, we are very 50-50, where Pyro, Flash, and Zaria are choosing Blake Monroe to pick up the win. Everybody else is going Zaria. I'm personally only going Zaria because I don't see Sol losing the title through somebody else, and that's just me personally. Brother Pyro says Blake takes the title. She doesn't go through the feud with Grace just for her to lose her next big match, especially when Zaria shouldn't be in the match to begin with, nor is she a believable champ. And, coming from Brother Pyro, that is a really big thing, considering for the longest time he was really behind Zaria, and he knew Zaria from the indie scene, but what they've done with her in NXT, I know he doesn't 100% agree with. So we are kind of at that decision. Next up, we have the NXT North American Championship on the men's side. Ethan Page defends it against Dr. Wagner Jr. This has kind of been a while brewing between the two, where Ethan called out Wagner Jr. A while ago after his Fatal 4-Way match at the AAA pay-per-view a couple months ago. So now we have this match where they are actually going for Ethan's title instead of Wagner's title. Everybody aside from Flash is going Ethan Page. I don't see him losing it anytime soon, and I've kind of begun to like this version of all ego. No real reason as to why Flash went against all of us. Probably more or less just because he doesn't 100% like Ethan Page. So it could just be solely on biasness. Next up, we have the NXT Tag Team Championships. Darkstate is going against the Broken Hardyz in a Broken Rules match. This is more or less just a rematch in the making. Darkstate did lose their tag titles to the Hardyz before the Hardyz defended them at Bound for Glory, and Darkstate did make themselves known at Bound for Glory. However, it was not in the tag team match. If you guys didn't know much about that, go ahead and listen to the Bound for Glory one that we covered right before this, and it'll explain more or less everything for you. Going straight into the predictions, everybody is going Hardyz aside from our lovely Cauldron, who is, on the outskirts and is choosing Darkstate. Darkstate more or less just for the numbers, as our lovely Hex has told me, that is his only reasoning for it. Nothing beyond that. Brother Pyro did say that his reasoning for going with the Hardyz is, as much as he wants Darkstate, you don't revive the Broken One's gimmick and do nothing with it. I totally agree, and I see that this is going to be an absolute beautiful match tonight. We have the two bounciest boys in NXT and TNA teaming up together. Javon Evans and Leon Slater take on Mr. Iguana and La Parka. This came because I'm so sorry. I'm not feeling the greatest. This all came because the duo confronted Mr. Iguana and La Parka. They did lay down the challenge for Halloween Havoc, thus bringing us here. This was after the TNA and NXT invasion had happened. Looking at our predictions, we are all straight going Javon and Leon. Brother Pyro says, you don't let the boys give us that fire, meaning the previous match at Bound for Glory, and cool them down. Give me Leon and Javon. Even looking at Desario's reasonings, he says, and I quote, screw that lizard, going with the future of the business. I wholeheartedly agree with that, and I absolutely love the way that Desario put it, just short, sweet, and to the point. Next up, NXT Women's Championship is on the line. Jacy Jayne defends against Tatum Paxley. Now, this came because there was a number one contender battle royal for the, obviously, spot to face Jacy Jayne at Halloween Havoc. We were down to the last three. I believe it was Tatum Paxley, Jordynne Grace, and Izzy Dame, who is friends with Tatum in the same faction as her. And Tatum was trying to remove Jordynne from the situation. Izzy came trying to help, and the momentum took her and Jordynne Grace out of the ring, thus leaving Tatum Paxley to pick up the win in this. I think it is so well deserved that she has this chance, and I'm very excited to see what they do. And I wouldn't be mad if they were to take the title off of JC personally and put it on Tatum, as she has worked so hard to get where she is. Going into our predictions, we have Flash and Desario who have chosen JC to retain. Desario not really giving us a reason as to why he chose JC. I know Flash is more or less just his preference. He loves JC. He likes the work that she's been doing, how much she's put into the women's division as of late. Everybody else is going Tatum, and Brother Pyro says, and I quote, if they don't pull the damn trigger on Tatum, I'm going to burn down the PC, with laughing faces. Tatum is on a roll, has the backing of the fans, and the means to keep it an equal fight with Izzy, but she shouldn't have been champion to begin with, and Tatum as champ would be wild and fun. She's not someone we'd think about about them putting the belt on, so it would be a big surprise, and her gimmick would make it unique. I 1,000% agree with his reasoning as to why Tatum should be champion. I've always backed Tatum, even when she had first made her switch into her spooky era. So I'm very excited to see how this match goes down. Lastly, we have the NXT World Championship on the line. Ricky Saints, who had just won the championship previously at, I believe it was No Mercy, was our last pay-per-view, defends against former TNA champion Trick Williams, who did lose his title back at Bound for Glory. Obviously, Trick just kind of coming back to NXT to be champion. He was still with NXT well before, but now looking to be the second ever 3-time NXT champion. Everybody is looking for Ricky Saints to retain. Brother Pyro says, gotta be honest, after Ricky's promo, it's hard to not believe in him. Plus, why have him be the guy to take down Oba if you aren't going to have him be the guy that retains? Everybody else is more or less on the same page as Desario, saying that Ricky Saints is not going to lose the title this soon in his reign. I wholeheartedly agree with all of that. Unfortunately, this was going to be a smaller podcast, as again, I am alone and doing this solo. Plus, we only have a 6-match card. So again, it is going to be a smaller one, and I do apologize. I know you guys usually favor our longer and bigger podcasts. Hopefully, Brother Pyro is here for our recap of Halloween Havoc, and you guys can get your normal 20, 30, 40-minute podcast that you also enjoy. We thank you. We love you for listening to us, and I hope every single one of you enjoy the show tonight. Laters.